One of the best ways to handle objections in a presentation is to use the Eminem method. You see, in the movie 8 Mile, there's a scene near the end where Eminem is having a rap battle with a character called Papa Doc. Eminem goes first, and instead of insulting Papa Doc, he starts by talking about himself. He starts by talking about how he's poor, how he's trailer trash, how he still lives with his mum. He starts saying all of the things that Papa Doc would use against him. And by doing that, he takes the power away from those insults. And poor Papa Doc is left speechless. Now, you might not be a rap battlist, but you can use a similar technique in your presentations. If you know the audience are going to object about something, bring it up in your presentation before they get a chance to. This way you can get ahead of the problem and address it in a way you see fit. For example, in my public speaking training courses, many people have the objection about feeling inauthentic when they start using body language techniques or when they start using vocal techniques. And in the past, I used to not bring that up, and I used to let it just come up in a Q&A, and it would often derail our course a little bit and make some other audience members a bit skeptical. But now what I do is I actually bring it up during my presentation. I say something like, some of you may be thinking, Kyle, these body language techniques, these vocal stuff, it just doesn't seem like me. I think if I tried it, I would seem inauthentic. And that's absolutely fine if you feel like that. I am not saying that you have to use everything that we're talking about on this course. Think about it as a menu. I'm giving you a menu with lots of different skills. You choose the one which you want to have for your meal, which you want to have to try out in your next presentation. By doing that, the objection loses its power and I'm able to continue forth in the presentation uninterrupted. But wait, I'm hearing your objection now. What if someone interrupts you as you're speaking? What if you get a random question that you didn't ask for? How do you deal with that objection? I'm really glad you asked. In that situation, you want to use the 3 A's. Acknowledge, address, ascend. So acknowledge, this is where you acknowledge what someone has said. You show them that you've heard them and their point. Second, you move on to address. You address the point. You counter the point. You change how they perceive things through your answer. And then ascend is you ascend above that point and move on to something else, something more important, something which you need to get onto. For example, let's say you said, Kyle, I don't think this Eminem method's going to work. Bringing up an objection, it's just going to bring more attention to it from the audience. I would answer that by saying, I hear what you're saying. By bringing up the objection, there is the possibility that more people become aware of it when they never would have in the first place. However, what is also important to consider is that if we don't bring it up, then we don't control how it is introduced to the audience. But if we do bring it up, we control the narrative, we control the story, we control the wording, which allows us to have an advantage in terms of redirecting the audience, nullifying the objection, and setting them on the right path. Which brings me nicely on to my next point about how you go about presenting your objections. Acknowledge, address, ascend. A simple technique you can use to answer any question or objection. Now, if you found this video helpful and you want to improve your speaking fast, something you might want to consider is one-to-one coaching. This is where you and I will meet on a Teams or Zoom call and discuss different ways you can improve your body language, your storytelling, your vocal skills, your persuasion, your question answering, and everything else involved with public speaking. You'll also have the opportunity to deliver presentations to me, in which I will give you in-depth feedback on to highlight what you're doing well and where you can improve. So again, if you want to level up fast, this is something worth considering. And if you want more information on how that coaching works, send me an email, kyle@confidencebydesign.com. I'll get back to you within 24 hours with some more information. See you in the next video.